How there were 60 years after the people colonized here. The Pharaoh. There's a legend about a Pharaoh in the desert, the Great Desert. So they called many villagers over because they were ready to rebuild more healing villagers, the statues of the original 6. There were 6 people colonized. 10 people, but we only really thought about 6, and these 2 were certainly the pillagers and vindicators and all stuff like that, but they were still worshipped. Without them, so much wouldn't happen. First of all, they wouldn't have had a chance to grow this big. The legend of the Pharaoh. Because the magical people were, down at the other place. Many soldiers lived here. Many soldiers. They would become everyone. They could do any of these jobs. The villagers would. So these 2 children have been told that they could be a mage. But it's not confirmed that they can still get powers and stuff like that. But it's highly likely. And so said it was true that he existed. The Pharaoh of Death was true. The legend of the Pharaoh of Death. For he was more powerful than any being before him. He killed the statues. Always. Of every statue. For he was the most powerful. The Pharaoh was more powerful than anything ever before. Once released, the Pharaoh would kill any being. He would begin his takeover. Calling upon husks of all of Gondorians. Not Shalks. He would call upon the husks of the dead Gondorians. A monstrous nightmare. One of the Smog's children's. The children of Smog. Husks were also part of the army of the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh had died. Without a fight. Many of the army had moved up north. Leaving many of the people behind. To escape the Pharaoh's rule, the tyrannical rule. Yeah, this was a mage in training. And he was finally like, I need to do. Because all mages actually come from the Pharaoh, the children of the Pharaoh. An entire speech he'd summoned his first golems. He'd done his first magic. Iron golems are actually very powerful. They're here to save villagers once and for all. Some of the virus had stayed in people who were in the golems, who were actually just previous people who had the golems cannot get the virus. They can now because it is adapted to attack magic. It is adapted to attack magic. Could be the fall of the second true villager site. Here, not many, but a few villagers, a villager, citizen, regular man, average Joe, but they're actually able to wipe out the viruses. Unlike many of their ancestors, soldiers had gained weapons. Until pillagers were like, we need to fight. If we don't fight, we are going to die. Pillagers finally realized those 2 pillager bandits I told you about, they're ready to start the Great War. General. This is not the beginning of the war. Many mages, no, I mean there's one voter. Indicators have left. Years ago, in the Great War, at the beginning of the Great War. It has not happened yet. People are saying it so soon happened, but the Great War had not begun.